What's up, guys? You're here with O'Neill Ops, and this is the Predator Hunter Podcast. This is the place where we break it down, where we go into detail with the equipment that we use and how we use that equipment application specific. This has been a long time, man. Too long to try to get and memorize the rhythm for podcasts, intros, everything, because we haven't done a podcast like this for probably 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah, four for sure at least.
So what we have is a podcast with a company that we're relatively new working with. We have used their equipment for about, I'm going to say, close to 8 months now. And usually that's how it goes with us without getting into too much crazy detail. We don't just plug a company until we actually have some legitimacy behind using the product. And before we introduce our guest, I'm going to kind of go into a little bit of detail real quick on my first experience and the particular product that it was. The company and the product is Desert Tech. The particular rifle is the SRS M2. And Jeff knows a lot more detailed specs on this rifle than I do, but I just kind of want to briefly touch base on my initial impressions of the rifle. And this is the exact same verbal expression that I'm going to be giving on the YouTube video review of this rifle. This whole podcast is essentially a precursor. It's just an introduction. It's just a kind of an interest getter, ramping up the adrenaline for the YouTube video that we have produced for you guys on this rifle. Anyway, the first impression that I had of this was the precision aspect, not the accuracy, but the ability for this rifle to shoot bug knots. It was Keith, John, and I when we first got it. And as I said in the YouTube video, the barrel that I had was a custom 22-250, and it was chambered for a 2.410 case overall length, throated specifically for the 50 grain VMAX because we wanted to use this platform in the realm of what we do, which is killing coyotes. That's what we wanted to initially use this rifle for. So what we did was we had the mindset of developing a load. That's what we always do with a custom rifle. Is we go to the drawing board before we even start, and we start reloading for it, and gradually try to make that rifle perform, to optimize the precision of that rifle, make it shoot better than it would without factory ammo.
With factory ammo.
Yeah, better than it would with factory ammo. Sorry. Well, we went and we gassed up the loads, and John shot the first group, then Keith shot another group, and then I shot another group. Unbelievable. They were all, John, I think we probably have all of them. Mine is right there, my last one that we shot on the YouTube video review, probably the tightest group that I've ever shot. But Keith's was sub-quarter, John's was sub-quarter, and mine is easily sub-quarter. You can't hardly see the holes tear from each bullet going through it. That is a huge deal to us, because if a rifle's capable of that, then we know we can. I mean, there's a lot of things that aren't within our reach with our capabilities. Certain variables.
And that's with the first load we worked up.
Yeah, that we didn't even mess with it. That was it. That was it. Said and done. We seeded it. We dumped some Varget at a kind of a
generic.
Well, it's kind of our go-to charge.
Yeah.
And then we seeded a bullet, nothing crazy what the overall length was for, and it shot. I mean, it was said and done. It was good. But that was my initial impression of the precision that it had. Honestly, to me, when a rifle is that precise, it's a selling point. I'm sold on it, because an inaccurate rifle is not interesting. There's no room for them. We don't have any room for them. If they don't shoot,
They get put away and never used again.
Or they just get gone.
Sent back.
Coon clubs. Anyway, so what we did was, my mindset real quick without getting too far off subject was to develop a load with a day optic. So we had the Leupold Mark V, 7 to 35 power on it. And what I do is try to develop a load with the rifle And then once that load is developed, take the day optic off and throw a thermal on, because now we know that the rifle shoots with the applied load. Now we can transition it to the night game with a thermal and it's still going to shoot. We just have to re-zero it with the thermal on it. So that's what we did. So I put the iRay Alpha on it and killed a few coyotes with it. And once again, my initial impressions of the platform in the field was, to be honest, the weight distribution. How the weight was so balanced, not end heavy, not really necessarily back heavy, but the ease and controllability of a rifle like that was pleasing for me. You know, it was just surprising, to be honest. Of course, in my opinion, like I think John kind of said, man, it might be kind of tough for me to get used to that bolt throw because it's back by your cheek. It's not out in front of you. But it's like anything, you get used to it. You know, you will get used to it. And so those are my first impressions. We ran it on the 250. We swapped the barrel out, same bolt face, the 250 and the 260 are the same bolt face. We swapped the barrel to the 260 Remington. We took it out to 1100 to 1300, and then we swapped the whole bolt assembly and swapped the whole barrel to the 338 Norma mag. And the other day, John just crushed a sub MOA target. It looks like a speck out there at 2,210 yards, 2,040 meters. So, you know, the capabilities of a rifle like this are crazy. The amount of applications that you can use them for. Anyway, that's my initial impression. That was a good 5 minutes of kind of what I think of the rifle upon initial impressions. So with that said, let's introduce our guest, Jeff Wood, correct?
Correct.
At Desert Tech. Why don't you just, before we get into anything, give us your status, what kind of what you do at Desert Tech, what your position is, and introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Jeff Wood. I go by Coldborn Miracle on the internet.
Dude, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Really?
I like that.
Dude, you
didn't know that?
Nope. Hell no. I've been looking at your stuff for 10 years on Sniper's Hide. I had I didn't know that till just okay, good. That's crazy.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So, So go by Coldborn Miracle on the internet. I worked at Desert Tech for 6 years. My official position is Chief Experience Officer. Basically, I'm a glorified PR guy, basically. I do a lot of the content generation and whatnot for Desert Tech, do a lot of the product testing and whatnot. So fairly intimate with all of the Desert Tech products. I'm a staunch believer in them. That's why I got the job, really. I bought a Desert Tech rifle before I worked here, and I just loved shooting it and spent all of my time playing with it. And eventually, when I applied for a job here at Desert Tech, they already knew who I was. So it kind of worked out great for me as far as that goes.
Okay. So by seeing a lot of the stuff that you posted on Sniper's Hide, you're definitely not new to the game. I mean, you've been doing this shit for a long time.
Yeah, I've been, I started doing precision rifle shooting, I don't know, probably around 2000, roughly. I would say somewhere in that ballpark. Kind of self-taught. Like I didn't have a lot of instruction in the game, so I kind of learned a lot of this stuff on my own because I didn't really have a choice. Didn't have the money to spend on classes and stuff like that. So I remember saving up for my first real, to buy a decent rangefinder because, back in the day there wasn't very many to choose from. So it took me a long time just to save up to buy a decent rangefinder that would actually hit 1,000 yards or beyond.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it was. I remember that. It's crazy how advanced everything's getting in the past even 10 years, isn't it? It's just nuts.
It really has. It's impressive how things have changed. I just I just got a Sig Kilo 10K,
Yeah.
which blew my mind. Like here it is. Like I said, I remember saving up to buy a Leica 1200, which I thought was like some Cadillac of rangefinders, which it was a good rangefinder. But now I've got the Sig 10K, and I hit 9,000 something yards the other day from up on the mountain, looking down at my house, and I thought, man, this is impressive.
We're gonna get those. We're gonna get those. I have the Vector 4s, and I mean, they're so big and clunky, that, and the glass in them is probably superior to what the Sig Kilos have. But I looked through a buddy of mine, the 10Ks, and I don't. What do you think on this? What do you think on the glass on
That's
those?
what I was going to ask, because I wanted to know too.
I like them. My problem with glass, when people ask me my opinion on glass, and this is certainly not to toot my own horn, but I think I don't have bad eyes.
Yeah.
So it's like I can look through a piece of glass that's maybe not as good as another, and it doesn't look bad to me. And other people will be like, "Oh, that glass sucks," and I'm like, "Oh, well, it looked okay to me." But I think to me, they look on par or a little better than the Vortex Furies. They do have that blue tint to them that for some reason people seem to have. I don't know why, but a lot of people seem to think that that's some big deal. But I'm like, so what? So there's a little bit of blue tint.
The 3000s don't have that.
Oh, really? I don't know.
No, they don't. They don't. The 3000 BDXs don't have that. I looked through my buddies last weekend, and then these, I was just curious, is because if you've got I could tell you've got a lot of experience with them, because we're gonna probably roll with them with that kind of a rangefinder. Jeez, that's tough to beat for that price point.
Exactly, and it saves you having to buy some blue blocker sunglasses.
Yeah, yeah, no shit, exactly. Well, all right, man. So that's your status. Is there anything that you would like the people that follow us to know about you? Like I said, that's great. I didn't know you were Cold Bore Miracle, man. I've been looking at your stuff for a decade. Your pictures, you have the watermark that I didn't put two and two together. So is there anything else that you would want our guys to know possibly about you or what you do before we kind of go into some of the talking points, like the history of the company and stuff?
I guess, I mean, if you guys want to come follow me, like you just said, I do a lot of my own stuff on the side. Hunting is my
cool pictures. Plug your put your Insta. Tell what got you Cold Bore Miracle on Instagram.
Cold Bore Miracle everywhere. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you want to go. I mean, that's where I'm at. I have my own website, coldboremiracle.com. I do a lot of the stuff that I do is there on my website. But it's basically all based around guns and hunting and outdoor stuff. But like I was saying, hunting is basically my passion. I mean, the whole reason I wanted to get into precision shooting in the first place was because nothing appeals to me quite like being able to make a shot, no matter what it is. That's what led me to the SRS, and that's what keeps me coming back to the SRS. This is now like depending on how you look at it, this is like the fourth generation of SRS now, and it's my favorite by far. I actually have the twin to the rifle you've got there, so there's only two of them that are identical, because the one you have and the one I have are the two pre-production M2s. The one I've got right here in front of me is the actual production one. There's almost no difference between them, but I have the twin to yours, and it's my favorite gun. I do everything with it. I've done everything from smashing marmots to dropping elk with that thing. It's just an awesome gun. I love it. So, but that's what I do. That's what I do when I'm not working here. I'm usually doing my own thing at home. So if anybody wants to come give a follow, you'll probably see a lot of Desert Tech stuff in it.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, then let's just kind of go by the outline and hit some talking points up, because it when you're talking about interesting stuff like this, time flies, man. It goes. We'll go.
It sure does.
Within a couple minutes, we'll be at an hour.
Yeah.
So let's go through the history, man. I'm however much you want to touch base on that. Let's go into it real quick.
Okay. So the SRS is actually the original product for Desert Tech. My boss, is the one who started the company back in 2007. He, just like you and I, he was a precision rifle junkie. The man sold his first car so that he could buy a sniper rifle so he'd have something to shoot that actually met his requirements. But he saw what everybody else was doing and decided to try and take it to the next level. That's what started the SRS in his mind, which was a precision rifle that was more compact, more accurate, and more adaptable by being a caliber convertible system. So that's what got the SRS going. He basically drew it up and had a couple of prototypes made, walked into SHOT Show and started showing it to everybody, trying to get some excitement about it. And the rest is history. It just took off from there. And that was the Gen 1 SRS. Then the Gen 2 SRS came out a few years later that kind of revised the way the barrel indexes in the chassis. And then from there, it went to the A1, which was the last revision of the SRS before technically 2 revisions ago. But then the A2 came out, which brought the same barrel system as the A1, but it brought in an M-LOK handguard and a few other little things, changed up the trigger, lightened up the chassis overall. And then the M2, we actually made because of a military request. A lot of our rifles are used by a lot of law enforcement and military people, and they had been asking for something that is that will use a clip-on night vision or thermal optic that you can put in front of your day scope. And so they all wanted this monolithic rail that you've got on top of the M2. And so we built that with a 30 MOA taper built into it so that your day scope, your night scope are all on the same axis, so you don't have any misalignment there. And then on top of that, we added in this Area 419 Arcalock rail on the bottom of the handguard so that you can bolt the gun into a tripod, or you can have your bipod slide back and forth, locks in. I mean, if you haven't familiarized yourself with Arca rails and Arcalock, it's an incredible accessory to the system. But anyway, so that's the M2.
Before we go any further, just because I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of guys that have no idea of the concept of your rifle. The major concept is being the bullpup style, correct? I mean, that's exactly. Explain to guys what that is. Just detail it out so they understand the whole idea of what a bullpup does, what the benefits are.
Very good. So every gun we make is actually a bullpup. A bullpup is essentially a gun that has the action and magazine behind the trigger and grip instead of in front of it. So a traditional bolt gun's going to have your bolt up here in front of the trigger. Bullpups have them behind the trigger. And with a semi-auto gun, it's the same idea. The magazine is behind the trigger, and it's got all the action and sear pack and all that stuff is behind the trigger. So all of our guns are bullpups. The idea there being you get the same performance as a full-size rifle, but in a much more compact design. So the SRS you've got, as well as the one right here in front of me, this one's got a 26-inch barrel in it. I believe yours is also got a 26-inch, unless you're talking about your 250.
Nope, it is. You're right. It's a 338 configuration right now.
Yeah, the 338 is going to be a 26-inch barrel. So, I mean, this is a 26-inch barrel. Mine's a 300 Norma right now, but so I mean that is a whole lot of power in a really small system that you can manipulate with a single hand. And so that's the idea behind the bullpup design, is to give all that power and performance in a gun that is way smaller and easier to get into places than a traditionally designed rifle. And then you can even throw a can on this thing, and it's still shorter than a traditionally designed rifle without a can on it.
Yep, exactly. And we do a visual expression of that on the YouTube video, and it's you don't understand it until you actually see it. Till you know, a lot of guys are like, well, how does that work? And when you have one in your hand and you hold it next to another one, you understand it. You see it right now.
Exactly. And not to change subjects, but our MDR our MDR is our semi-auto platform, which is also a bullpup. It does the same idea. And when you try and if you pick up a 308 AR,
AR-10 or SR,
an AR-10 or something, exactly, with a 20-inch barrel on it, try and pick that thing up and hold it single-handed without getting tired. I mean, that is a long gun by comparison, and yet this MDR with a 16 or 20-inch barrel, I mean, you can shoot it one-handed. I mean, you can hold it one-handed for days. You know, you can run it one-handed. You can even shoot it one-handed if you wanted to. But
yeah, I would say the same exact thing on the bolt on like your SRS M2. That's what I said also in the video. That 250 configuration, ridiculous compared to even our regular 250 bolt rifles. Even with carbon fiber barrels, it's easier to handle, easier to hold. I know
exactly.
Yeah.
And you can put carbon fiber barrels in the SRS too. There's a lot of folks making barrels for them now that are carbon wrapped, and so you can reduce the weight even further, and it makes it even more balanced to where it's even easier to handle.
So you mentioned the MDR. Let's go hammer through the SRS, the Stealth Recon Scout, real quick. Let's go through the A2 versus the M2 features, kind of quickly, because we're at 25 minutes and we got 4 other things to cover on it too.
Yeah, so we gotta get through it.
Just so guys understand, the rifle that we're running is the SRS M2. The main difference I say in the video was you have the Arcalock on the M2 versus not on the A2. So go from there to rattle it off.
Okay, so the A2 and the M2 are basically identical except for the Arcalock rail and the monolithic optics rail on top. So the A2 won't have this full-length optics rail on the top or the Arcalock rail on the bottom. So if you don't need either of those two features, then an A2 would fit your needs just fine.
You do, though. You want them. You want the M2 features. You want them.
I do, too, yeah. Like, as soon as I picked up the M2, I was like, hey, this is it. This is the one. But yeah, other than that, they're identical. I mean, all the barrels are identical. You could pull the barrel out of one, drop it in the other one. There's obviously no headspace or anything like that to go with them because it's all indexed in the chassis. So the SRS, all SRSs have an adjustable trigger. They all use the same magazines, which has been a sore spot for some folks. Everybody's always saying, you need to make it take AI mag. Which unfortunately with the design it can't be done, so
it can't be
going to happen.
It can't.
No, not. It would require actually changing the receiver up a little bit as well as the plastic skins and everything. So it's probably not worth it in the long run. So, but the magazines are short and long action. They're the same size whether you shoot a short or a long action cartridge, so they fit in the same mag well. The short action cartridge, the short action magazines have a little spacer at the back to hold the cartridges to the front. The magazine itself is designed to hold the cartridge back under recoil against the shoulder instead of the tip of the bullet, which happens a lot of times in AI mags, for example. When the gun recoils, all the bullets slide forward and they hit the tip of the bullet against the back, the front of the magazine, where the SRS is designed to hold them on the shoulder so it doesn't damage bullet tips or anything like that. So it's got an ambidextrous magazine release on both sides of the rifle, so you can drop your mag out. You've got nickel boron plated bolts now are standard. You've got adjustable length of pull with spacers on the back for the recoil pad. You've got an adjustable cheek piece here, so you can adjust the height of your face so you can line up properly with the scope. All SRSs are multi-caliber. That goes without saying, I suppose. There's a lot of multi-caliber rifles out there, but the SRS is extremely fast. You can swap from one caliber to another. We've done it in as little as 38 seconds. If you really hurry, you can do it pretty quick. All you have to do is loosen a bolt lock that is on the passenger side of the rifle, I want to say, but the left side of the gun. On the left side of the gun, there's a bolt lock, and on the right side of the gun, there's 4 tension screws. So the rifle, you use a 80-inch pound torque wrench. You just loosen these 4 screws, flip it over, unlock the barrel, and the barrel slides right out the front that fast. And if you don't need to change bolt faces, so if you're going from a 250 to a 260, then you just pull the barrel out, drop the other one in, snug it all back up, and you're ready to go. If you are changing bolt faces, then it's as simple as dropping off the recoil pad, and you pull the bolt out the back, swap to the different size bolt face, throw that new bolt in, and then throw your recoil pad back on, and you're ready to go. So it's really a fast system for changing calibers if that's important to you, which to a lot of people it is. Me personally, I've got probably 15 different conversion kits for my rifles. I can't get enough. It's almost like an addiction.
Yeah, like a tattoo. It's
exactly.
The thing is in this day and age, you have a lot of guys that complain about the price of really expensive shit, and you get what you pay for. If your guys' stuff is expensive, you can have one system with multiple configurations and save versus having 3 or 4 rifles that do the same thing.
Exactly. That's actually one of the reasons I got the SRS in the first place. At the time I could definitely not afford to just keep building new rifles, because that's what I was doing at the time, having another rifle made all the time. And we all know that sickness, right? It never ends.
Yeah.
It's like, as soon as you're done building one rifle, it's like, what's the next one going to be, right? Like, I have a 250, but I need a 250 improved or whatever,
I got
right?
stock laying around. I need to build something on it.
Yeah, I just need another 250, just another one.
Exactly. Oh, I got an extra magazine over here. Better build another gun, right?
Better build a gun for that mag.
So the problem is when if you put together 5 precision rifles and have to put $3,000 optic on top of each one of them, I mean, that's a lot of money just in and of itself. The beauty of the SRS is you can drop $5,000 on a scope and you don't have to buy a scope again until you want one, right?
Yeah.
It's like you can shoot your 338 Norma or a 300 Ultra Mag or a 22 250 or a 260 308. I mean, name it, right? There's any caliber you want, you could throw in this gun. And you never have to buy another scope. And on top of that, you've got the added benefit that you've got the exact same length of pull every time, the exact same trigger, same bolt, same scope. Everything's the same no matter what caliber you're shooting. So, you go back and forth from one conversion to another, and it's always that same comfortable feel that you're used to. So to me, it feels like it's easier to be better with this gun than with other options, right?
Yep. Another thing real quick, the M2 and the A2 both have a kind of a spring-charged monopod at the back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that. So the monopod on the back was designed to kind of take the place of a rear bag. So when you get on, whether you're on a tripod or a bipod or whatever, I've got the gun on a tripod here in the studio, but when you've got the gun mounted up, and say you get on the gun, you want to level up on a target, you hold the gun to wherever it's pointed perfect at the target, and then you just reach back here and drop down the monopod, and it hits the ground. Now your gun's standing on basically 3 points of contact, and then you can turn the wheel in or out, and it will raise or lower the back end of the rifle, and that gives you that extra support on the back that I think is just fantastic. I mean,
oh yeah,
you can how many times have you been carrying around your beanbag or whatever for your rear support, and then you set the thing down, or you drop it, or you forget where the heck you put it, leave it in the truck. I mean, I've done that a million times. And then it's like you get out in the field like, crap, now what do? I'm back here making fists again like it's 1998, right?
And the when you quickly or rapidly deploy that, and then you what you're saying is when you turn it like a dial, it adjusts in very minute increments. I mean, I used it to fine tune just at 100 for the hell of it, which, I mean, granted, if you're shooting groups, a rear bag's going to be better than this, but in the field,
when you're on the move,
exactly. Yeah.
Did you shoot that 1-dot group with?
I did, but still, I did that group. I did, but it's still, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not going to complain about that, but it's an awesome feature. That's why I wanted to point it out. It's all integrated into it. And it's for the field, for field use, man. Yeah, I mean, shit, you never know what position you can get yourself into, and just any kind of support like that you can acclimate yourself to certain positions and get more steady.
Exactly.
So much better.
Exactly. I love it. I do a lot of shooting in the mountains. That's where I spend as much of my spare time as I can. So it's like when you're up on the edge of a hill trying to get your gun leveled on an animal that's across the canyon or whatever, it's so nice to be able to just drop that monopod down real quick, grab it with your fist, and then you've got this extra point of contact to help keep that rifle steady as can be. And then the rifle's balanced anyways. It's a lot more balanced towards the center, so it's just easier to stay steady on it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's from you. I wouldn't. You'd be just saying shit that I wouldn't understand unless you actually handle it. Yeah, I've had a lot of guys ask me about the rifle, and I'm like, dude, there's nothing really that I can say bad about this rifle other than getting used to the bolt, and that's not bad. It's just something that it's just different. You got to get used to it.
Right. Yeah. It's I've seen over the years. It seems to be there's like 10% of the people out there who just like refuse to get used to it, and then everybody else is like, it's not bad at all. Once you shoot it a couple times, and like it's. I mean, I shoot this gun as much as any gun I own, but I've got Tikkas and Remingtons and other stuff that I have zero issue running this bolt versus those bolts. I mean, it all feels the same to me now after all this time now. So
exactly, that's all. Yeah, exactly, just reps. So those are what is there? Did you cover the specific applications that you'd like to cover for that specific rifle for the SRS?
For the M2, so like I said, the M2, we designed the M2 by military request because they wanted most military tenders. They want you to have an optics rail that will take night optics and so forth. So what they asked for that, so we decided to design that. And then while we were at it, shameless plug, it was my idea for the Arcalock rail. So yeah. I threw that in. We decided to put that on there as well because why not? I mean,
that's a good plug, dude. That's a
now that you're used to it, it's like, why on earth would we have not put this on there?
That's good. But I was reading a bunch of shit on Sniper's Hide, and those guys were talking about that. Yeah, that's just it's legit. It's a no brainer. It's just 100% functional.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I love it because I shoot off a tripod a lot, so I can just clamp my rifle right into the tripod. I don't even have to take the bipod off. I leave the bipod on it. A little extra weight helps keep it steady anyways. Throw it on the tripod and then shoot it off of the tripod, and you can move around on the tripod easily just by loosening up the clamp. I mean, it's fantastic. And then just with the flip of the switch, you pull the rifle off the tripod, go right to the ground if you need to. Works great.
Hey, what kind of tripod do you use?
I use a Field Optics research tripod, but I mean, Really Right Stuff, Two Vets. I mean, they're all great. Each one has its pros and its cons.
We're doing a bunch of stuff with we're going to be doing a bunch of shit with Two Vets this year. But anyway, the Arca rail, that's good for us because I'm looking to my left and I've got a custom bolt rifle that I built, and I've got an Area 419 Arcalock full length rail on it. I think it's 14 inches, 16. Anyway, goes all the way up the bottom of the fore end. And it turns into a necessity because we just put those tripods on them for our night applications. And the tripods that we use are relatively lightweight. I mean, granted, no matter what kind of material you use, you're going to add some weight, but it folds up along the fore end of the rifle. Did the same thing on this rifle. It folds right up around.
Exactly.
And you just roll with that shit, throw it in your pack, go unfold it, and you're done. You don't have to attach anything. And it's just, without getting into the details of the Arca system, it's a more robust, a hell of a lot more secure system.
Exactly. It's more robust and fast. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. It's fast. Cause I mean, it's like, how many times have you been on a hill and you're at the top of your bipod travel, right? And then your animal walks up the hill just a little higher, and now you're out of, you need to come up. So it's like you just grab your Arca clamp, loosen it, pull that bipod back.
Yep.
And now you just got, another 6 inches of altitude to lift your rifle up on that animal. So it's super fast to move your rifle around and get into a better shooting position.
Good idea and good explanation for those guys that don't know what that is or how it works. That's good. That's probably you smoked that on that SRS, right? I mean, you probably. That's just. We'll have a really badass video. I hope a lot of talking, a lot of detailed specs on the rifle. on YouTube probably next week sometime, so that you guys can. I'm gonna get this up for that before that, so guys can kind of listen to this before they get the visual aspect. But is there anything else that you think you want to touch base with on the A2 or the M2 or the whole SRS system, or you think that's golden before we move on to the next?
I think that's probably about everything on it. The rifle, the one other thing I was going to say, you mentioned a lot the precision, the accuracy of the rifle, which is that's how I fell in love with the gun too. I mean, I remember that very first time I closed that bolt and there's that metallic snapping into battery that it does, and it's like, ooh, that feels good. And then when you pull that trigger, and the trigger is just fantastic, excellent trigger, you pull it, the gun goes off, and it's this perfectly linear push right into your shoulder instead of, being slightly elevated above the direct line into your shoulder. So traditional rifles kind of recoil up a little bit more, whereas the SRS comes straight into you.
Way different, dude. That's the first thing that when I was freehanding that shot, completely different recoil, 100% different recoil.
Exactly. And that accuracy, I think, comes from all of these things together. And I mean, we have a half MOA guarantee with all the rifles. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
The SRS is guaranteed half MOA when you're using match grade ammunition. So that, I mean, you're going to have an accurate rifle with this thing.
That's a pretty, I mean, that's a stout guarantee.
And we've had that half MOA guarantee for a long time. Somebody check me on this, but I think we might have one of the oldest, if not the original, accuracy guarantees on the rifle, and it comes with a lifetime fully transferable warranty now too, as well. So, like, I mean, you could sell the gun to your neighbor, and he could sell it to his neighbor, and if he breaks something, he can call us, and we'll take care of it, because we want to stand behind our guns, whether it's this one or the MDRX or whatever we do. We want to stand behind our stuff.
That's cool. Like I said, man, for me, for what we do, precision is pinnacle. Precision. I could spend a lot of money on a custom gun, which we've done, and it doesn't shoot, and it goes gone. I mean, the barrel gets tore off. You try to redo everything. You work up a different load, and when you have something like this, that no shit, 3 different shooters, all sub quarter, it's not a coincidence, it's just how shit works.
Exactly.
So anyway, that's impressed, very impressed with the system. We wouldn't be having this conversation if we weren't, period. Right. Well, let's talk about, I'm interested in your other platforms, man. I mean, specifically the HTI, I was looking at that, but let's go down the line. What you got here? Let's go to the MDRX, go through some, just cause guys, like I said, what we're using is the SRS M2 for the guys, just to reinforce it, because there's guys that won't listen. So just push it to them. The SRS M2 is what we're using in 3 different configurations: the 2250, the 260 Remington, and the 338 normal mag. But let's go down the line. Your other products, the MDRX.
All right. So the MDRX is a newer rifle. We brought this rifle out in 2017, I believe. Somebody check me on that. The MDRX is, we took the same idea as the SRS and put it into an auto-loading rifle. So this is a multi-caliber bullpup carbine. It's available currently in 4 calibers, 223, 300 Blackout, 6.5 Creedmoor, and 308. It has several different barrel lengths. This one is a 16-inch 308. So, I mean, for those that are watching, it's a very small rifle with a whole lot of power. I mean, a gun this size in 308 is it's a lot of power to have. This one has our Mantis bipod, which is a built-in bipod that's built right into the handguard. So you can, if you want to take, more supported shots, you just fold out the bipod right out of the handguard. It rocks as well. You've got a tension wheel here, so you can level the gun up when you're on uneven ground. Much like the SRS, the MDR is multi-caliber. You have these 2 screws here in the receiver. You loosen those up, unlock the barrel with this 3rd screw there, remove the handguard, and then the barrel will slide right out the front. It's a little bit more labor intensive since it's an auto-loading rifle than the SRS was. obviously, because you've got to change things like the bolts inside the receiver. There's a magazine well spacer for when you go from small frame to large frame caliber. So 308 and 6.5 Creedmoor use SR25 mags, and the 300 Blackout and 223 use the just regular AR-15P mags, or anything comparable to those. It has a 2-stage trigger, weighs in just under 8 pounds, depending on how you set it up, obviously. Has a monolithic rail on top for optics mounting. What else? This one is a forward eject. We have both a forward eject and a side eject design of the rifle. The side eject is currently only available in 223, so it just throws the brass out the side just like any other semi-auto would. The forward eject system actually throws the cartridge forward out of the ejection port right here. So instead of throwing it out the side, it throws it forward. So if for whatever reason you wanted to shoot the gun weak side, you're not going to catch brass in the face because it's going this way. So that's an added benefit to the MDRX. And this is also reversible. So you can literally just pop this guy off and switch it to this side, and then it'll throw it out the opposite side of the rifle. So that's the MDR in a nutshell. MDRX, excuse me. The MDRX, you can get it in a 20-inch 6.5 Creedmoor, a 20-inch 308, a 16-inch 308, a 16-inch 223, or a 20-inch 223 in either side or forward eject. We also have an SBR version of the rifle where the barrel ends right here, which is an 11.5-inch SBR, which is almost dangerously short. But man, is it a lot of fun, and it runs like you would want a personal defense weapon to be. I mean, it's super tiny. You can run it single-handedly, very easy, and it's a whole lot of power in a little tiny gun. I can hide it in my backpack. You know, people think I'm carrying a laptop, and it's 30 rounds of 223.
That would be interesting to get. I could see that in being a bullpup style with an SBR. That'd be nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty slick.
Small as you could get.
Small as your freaking suppressed pistol.
What?
Yeah.
Before we go too far, what do you want to kind of do an ad lib price, like just a MSRP or a map for a basic configuration for each rifle, or would you rather have guys look online and just check that shit out?
You can look on our website, because we have so many different configurations. There's different pricing. The SRS typically runs, depending on how you set it up.
Say this. Say this. I'll give you a scenario for each one. Say for the SRS, okay, you get a SRS M2, and it's everything that you can get. 260 Remington, 26-inch barrel, done. Nothing crazy. Right. Just a 26-inch barrel Remington 260 SRS M2.
You're probably looking at, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not in sales, so I don't have the prices right in front of me.
Ad-lib
probably should have.
That's all right. That's all right. That's cool.
I want to say it's right around 65, maybe, for something like that. The MDR, depending on how you set it up, is around $2,500.
Okay, so say you get a standard 223, no SBR, 16-inch barrel. And what would a guy be looking at for that, for your MDR?
Yeah, they're about $2,500, give or take a couple $100. Different caliber conversion kits are between $600 and $900, depending on which one you want to get. So you can buy, like an MDR, you could buy an MDR with a 16-inch 223 barrel, and then buy a 6.5 Creedmoor conversion kit, and then you've got your varmint gun, you've got a deer gun, a hog gun, whatever you want to do with it. It's real easy to go back and forth with those between those calibers.
Similar,
and it's just a fun little gun.
Yeah, similar concept is your SRS, but it's a different platform.
Exactly.
It's just a semi-auto instead of bolt. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then the HTI.
Yeah, that one.
Essentially, that's the one you wanted to know about. Yeah. The HTI is just a scaled up SRS. Essentially, it's a big bore rifle. So the HTI is available in 375 Chi-Tac, 408 Chi-Tac, 416 Barrett, and 50 BMG. It uses almost an identical barrel system. So you pull the barrel out, drop in another one, uses slightly different magazines, but the idea is basically the same. We had to adjust the way the gun operates for those larger cartridges, but other than that, they're nearly identical as far as function and the way things work in the gun there.
But you are restricted to those specific cartridges. It's strictly what you would call a big bore, like the 375, the 416, the 50 BM.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the smallest thing you can run is a Shytac based cartridge. So there's some people that run like 338 Snipe Tacs and stuff like that. And there's other people that are shooting 33 XCs out of the SRS, which to me is a bit much, but whatever. I mean, it's your world, man. You can do whatever you want. The HDI also, all of these rifles have, the SRS and the HDI rather have a thriving aftermarket. So you got your barrel from Mark over at Short Action Customs. There's lots of other custom shops that build barrels for both the SRS and the HDI. So if you want to get a 375, a custom 375 caliber or custom 416 or something like that, there's all those specialty ELR cartridges that people are shooting now. There's plenty of guys that are chambering up barrels to run in the HDI for those ELR competitions. And the HDI has actually been quite popular in those ELR competitions because it's so easy to swap out barrels and great trigger, and the size of the rifle is also very appealing.
What do you see in those ELRs starting at distance-wise, 2,000 plus?
Yeah, I think they normally start at there's King of 2 Miles is, I think, one of the biggest ELR competitions out there. I mean, that's a little outside my realm of knowledge, but I know there's lots of 2 miles and 3 miles and 4,000 yard shots and whatnot. So
do you have any video of anybody shooting an HTI at 3,000 and making impact or not?
Oh yeah. There's all kinds of videos of that kind of stuff. It's surprisingly, I mean, the same thing that makes the SRS so good at accuracy, the same thing happens with the HDI. I mean, I personally am not a big fan of 50s. It's just too much racket. Call me a wuss, whatever. I like shooting stuff that I can enjoy. If I can't go out and shoot 50 rounds in an hour, it's like it's too much for me. So I'm not a big fan of 50, put it that way. But I mean, you put something like a 375 or a 408 in that thing, I mean, you could shoot it all day long and just hammer stuff. Shooting 1,000 yards with that thing is a piece of cake. Even
the 338 normal with that, the very first 338 round out of that gun after we verified 0, I said, go up. I just said, dial 8 mils. He dialed up and we recorded it. First shot at 1,150, right? Fucking smoked right in the middle.
Went from 110 yards to 1,150 yards.
Dialed up 8 mils and freaking smashed. Done. I mean, it's you.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to make you guys feel not special or anything, but that's a story I've heard a bunch of times.
Well, it's not us. It's the gun.
You ain't as cool as you thought, buddy.
That's why I'm asking you if you have videos of guys shooting 3,000.
We get videos all the time from people shooting in long ELR competitions and just regular long range competitions.
Yeah, but they're shooting targets that aren't James O'Neill certified fucking small.
Yeah.
That's for sure though. That's actually, it's funny. That's one of the reasons why ELR isn't my thing. Like, sure, it's cool. It's like, oh wow, I made a shot at 4,000 yards or 3 miles or whatever, right? And it's like, oh, my first question is always, how many times did you shoot?
Yeah,
only how big is the target? There's
3?
No standard on how big the targets are, MOA relative or anything like that.
Right. And I mean, I think now they're starting to change things up a little bit to where there's actually some rules, and there's actually like, no, you get 3 shots on a target at this, type of a thing. But it's like, we've all heard the stories where, some old boy's like, oh yeah, I shot 2,000 yards with my wife's 243 or whatever. It's like, yeah, dude, guess what? If you give me a 249, I'll do it all day long at that range. Just all I need is a long enough belt.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit.
I mean, it's if you have enough rounds, sure, you could hit 4 miles with a 308
Yeah.
if you wanted to, but it's like, all that matters to me is something I can repeat, right?
Yep.
It's like if I can repeatedly hit the target of 2,000 yards, then that's something I'm interested in doing. But it's like if it's 3 miles away and I'm shooting and I've got a 1 in 10 chance of hitting it, and it's a 4 MOA target that's the size of a Volkswagen out there, it's like I don't know. It doesn't really do it for me. I guess.
I'm with you there, man.
So on your HTI, do you on your monolithic rail, is it still 30 MOA or is it more since it's designed?
So the HTI doesn't have 30 MOA built into it. The HTI is just a standard, straight, no taper. Yeah, and that's something perhaps that we ought to change in the future.
Yeah, I was going to say,
now that it's more.
Yeah, if it's I would say I would be looking at like a 40 MOA cant, because I would be, if we were running something like a 375 or a 408, we could take that rifle with the distance that we're at here, and we could shoot 3,000 yards with that easy. It'd be cool just to do.
Exactly.
I mean, it would just be cool just to say you did it. Even if we do, burn up a barrel doing it.
Exactly.
You aren't that guy, right?
But we won't show that, or we won't say that. We're not going to say,
exactly.
Dude, we only took 5 shots with this gun to do it.
Exactly.
John, now would be a good time to ask your question while possibly kind of slightly preoccupied.
Yeah, no shit.
Do it.
Hey, yeah, I was going to ask, like every action, right? Someone's blown it up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Pretty much. Well, these desert techs, your face is on top of the action instead of being 6, 8, 10 inches behind it. Is there some kind of precautionary, like if it blows up, it's going to do something special to not kill you?
So we've actually done a lot of testing to see what it can do. And actually, you guys know Greg Dykstra, I'm sure. So Greg actually did his own test where he took an SRS 338 Lapua and stuffed it full of pistol powder. He packed it full of pistol powder and set that bitch off, and it did not blow up. It blew that fucker out, and then he actually hammered the bolt open, and he says he probably could have reloaded it and tried it again, but he didn't want to.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, we've done a lot of tests with doing just that. We've had a couple people actually split the receiver. I'm going to start this recording again. Okay, it's recording again. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck it stopped. Oh, you know what? I think it did stop at 30 minutes, James.
It'll do that. Yeah. So
right.
just for reference, I guess I should have told you. I didn't know what you're using, but next I'll keep the countdown for you this time.
Okay.
But we're gonna use all that audio of what you were saying about if you don't care about John's question.
Oh no, I don't care. That's fine.
Okay.
No,
cool.
there's most of the times that there's been an SRS detonation where like the receiver actually splits. Most of the time it's been due to things like some custom calibers that we're using, like those weird subsonic cartridges, like 338 Whispers or something like that.
Yeah. It's always some user error or something like that.
There's been a few like that. Yeah, we actually had. There's been guys that have actually forgot to tighten their barrel down, and so when they close the bolt, it actually pushes the barrel forward out of its position, and then when they close the bolt, all it does is twist the barrel, and so it's not engaged. The bolt head is not engaged in the barrel, and so then when they pull the trigger.
You get some case separation going on.
Yeah, you get a whole lot more than case set separation.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
I kind of want to.
But yeah, pictures. I mean, yeah, anything when the gun's put together properly and you follow all the instructions, it works great. And I mean, there's been a few that have gone off over the years, but the receiver being right over your face, like you're talking about, it's never been an issue. No one's ever caught a chunk of aluminum in the mouth or anything like that, if that's what you mean.
Yep. That goes back to just literal firearm safety. I mean, if you're getting yourself into a rifle, know how to use it, everything.
Yep.
Just pay attention.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
But I like that. I like that HTI idea with that would just be a fun one to I would like to. I've shot a 416, but nothing to what its capabilities are, and it'd be cool to do something
right.
a little bit further just for fun, because like I said, we have the location to do it anyway. I see a bunch of stuff on Instagram when you guys just came out with that little Trek 22. That's right. That's a relatively new platform. That's like
yes. So I've got one right here in front of me that I thought I'd show just for those who are curious. It's kind of I guess cute would be a nice way of calling it.
Yeah, they're cool little.
A lot of people say it's ugly, but I don't know. It's kind of growing on me. I wasn't super interested in that at first, but I've kind of gotten used to it, and I kind of like shooting it now. But it is basically just a replacement drop-in stock for a Ruger 1022. So
I'm looking at it on the website right now, and it just takes 1022 mags. That is the handiest thing I've freaking seen. Yeah, I mean, it drops the length of a 1022 into an extremely small package. I mean, you could throw this in a backpack if you're going trekking or something like that, or throw it under the seat of your truck. It's tiny. It's balanced like really well. One thing that my favorite things about this is every one of us has watched a little kid pick up a rifle and they try and shoot it, and they invariably end up doing the little kid pose where they kind of cant their hips and lean way back and cock their shoulder against their side to try and hold that rifle up because it's so long, right? My 9-year-old shoots this thing and he can hold it up just fine because it's so well balanced that he can hold it the way you should instead of having to do this business that you always see little kids doing. But what
would you say the overall length on that is from the stock to the muzzle on a 16-inch barrel on a little 1022?
16 or an 18-inch. Keith, if you're on the website, look there. I can't remember off the top of my head what the overall length is. I think 27 inches.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, so that's only, oh, hell yeah, you could throw that in a backpack as easy as.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's got, James.
It's got a pick rail on top, so you've got a lot more sight mounting options than you do on just a standard 1022. It's got M-LOK slots all the way around, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. So you can put, you can add your sling, bipod, whatever you want to put on the gun, you can add. It's got a flush cup in the back for sticking your sling into it, storage for 2 extra 10-round mags in the back. And it actually reduces the trigger pull a little bit on the standard 1022, which is also a nice advantage, reducing the trigger pull a little bit so that the kids and even us big kids can enjoy it a little bit more. But it's a fun little gun.
It's got a rail. It's got a long pick rail on the top. So a guy, that'd be a good one for a micro clip on, or just a micro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I use a micro red dot all the time.
Make sure I'm getting this right. If I've got a 1022, I can just purchase the stock kit and take my 1022 apart and drop it in there.
Exactly. The only thing I've found so far is if you have a takedown 1022,
it's only
that takedown piece doesn't fit inside the stock. So if you have a takedown 1022, it doesn't fit, but just a regular 1022 drops right in, and it's a riot. It makes that gun even funner than it was before.
So even if you don't have a 1022, you could be into one of these for $600.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
that's cheap.
It's pretty. It's a pretty fun little outfit.
Yeah, Jimmy might need a new 22.
That's pretty cool.
He's got a handful of kids. They could use it.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
What about I was looking a little bit online at the Quattro 15. Is that like a receiver?
Yeah. So the Quattro 15 is still in prototype right now, but it is a quad stack AR-15 lower receiver. So we make the receiver, we make the magazines, and the magazines hold 53 rounds each. So and they're the same. They're basically the same size as a 30 round PMag as far as length. Obviously, they're fatter. But if you've got, like, say your plate carrier has double PMag pouches in it, you can just drop these mags right into it and they fit into the double mag carrier. So
proprietary mags for that system?
Proprietary mags, yes, and proprietary lower. So you can take your favorite.
Yep. Okay, go.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna. Yep.
I was just gonna say. So you can take your favorite AR, pull the lower out, switch all the parts over into this lower, and then now your favorite AR-15 runs 53 round magazine.
Pig hunting.
So, yes, exactly. That's what everybody keeps saying. Pig hunting or binary trigger or FRT triggers or whatever.
Because you can.
I mean, because you can. Personally, I think I like to shoot, well placed shots. I'm not one of those guys who like to mag dump.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not either.
But I know there's plenty of guys out there that like doing that, and more power to them. They can enjoy the heck out of it, and they can pay for the ammo too.
Yeah, no shit. 1 or 2 mag dumps is fun in your life, but more than that, they're the same.
Yeah, exactly. It's impressive. I mean, if you go to our Instagram or YouTube or somewhere, you can see the videos we made where you shoot that thing and it just seems like it never ends. It's like just bang, 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 and it never. It just keeps on going because 53 rounds is a long way.
That's a lot of rounds, man. That's a lot of rounds.
And then, and the idea being that if you've got 7 PMags versus 4 of our quad mags, you've basically got the same amount of ammo, but you only have to reload 4 times instead of 7.
Force multiplier,
so
dude.
Saving. Exactly. So you're saving time. You're spending more time shooting and less time reloading.
Yep. The downtime is what gets you.
Exactly. And that downtime, also opens the door for, malfunctions. I stabbed the mag in wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe your copy put it upside down. Who knows?
That's cool. I wasn't even paying attention to that. I wasn't even looking at that setup. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. We're still working on it. We're still hammering out prototyping and all those things. We've got a lot of testing to do to make sure it runs flawless, obviously, because that's going to be the number one issue is making sure it runs smoothly and without, any kind of hang up. So we're working on that, making sure, because we obviously don't want to bring it all the way to market until it's 100%. So
how many cans are going to get burned up by one of them?
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I shudder to think. Terrible.
Yeah, no kidding. It's what so that's pretty good, man. I mean, we went over we put in a solid hour of info on your products, on kind of our experience with one of your systems, and going over all your other products that you guys have to offer. And of course, what we do is our primary concern is hunting. That's what we're using the platform for. And
yep, that's me too.
What to kind of maybe kind of summarize everything going over, we have hunting with the Desert Tech rifles, application purposes, benefits of using them over something else, and then results. I mean, from my perspective, being kind of I would say, a free agent regarding what we do, not being sponsored by anybody, is a huge benefit to be able to work with guys like you and different guys and get hands on new products that we wouldn't otherwise. It just gives you a whole different visual on everything. There's guys that refuse to run certain shit. Yeah, I mean, they just refuse to for no reason, because, well, I mean, you could say for a reason. Maybe they since they're working with somebody else, it just handicaps their access to information, and that's what we do. Yep. We want to give guys insight based on experience. That's our goal. And by not being tied to one, I mean, we've been fortunate to work with a lot of different companies. Long Rifles Inc., Gunworks. I just got off the phone yesterday with a company called Sterling Precision, and they make custom rifles. Well, I mean, we've worked with a lot of different guys in the industry regarding everything from design work to just running their stuff. And I definitely think by running your platform, there's a huge asset, a huge benefit to the design, the functionality, and then, like I said, the precision side of things. We've probably put, I don't know, quite a few rounds down this in all three configurations, and have had no issues at all. I haven't had anybody get a hold of me on Instagram that have said anything regarding, oh, you know, I don't. Actually, I have. I've had a couple of guys ask me about triggers, and I don't know if it was because I don't know why, but I mean, when you, and I say this on that YouTube video, but when you shoot a bench rest style group, better than bench rest group at even 100, how can you even begin to scrutinize
question the trigger?
Yes, how do you scrutinize a trigger when you can do that shit? Because that's going to be the first thing to throw you off is the trigger pull,
right? When
you're trying to do that. And there's nothing out of the ordinary about this trigger that, other than it being straight. And we jumped straight from a curved trigger that we have in our systems to this, and boom, nothing.
Yep. Easy. It's easy to squeeze.
Yeah. And you said fully adjustable. We'll mention that in the video.
Yep.
And everything's pretty much modifiable. I mean, you can acclimate this thing to your specific.
That's the beauty of the system, really. I mean, you can set this gun up to do whatever it is you want. I mean, right now my barrel of the day is my 6 GT. I built a 6 GT barrel for mine, and I've been using it I shot deer with it last year. I've been hunting rock chucks with it all summer long. I mean, you can set it up to run however it is you want to do it. I mean, if you want to run short, which I think is ideal, I like short barrels. It's just a perfect fit for whatever you want to make it. You know what I mean? If you're going to go out, go ahead. Sorry.
How long's the barrel on that GT?
I cut it at 22, if I'm remembering correctly, like 22 and a half, I think is where I cut it. So it just barely pokes out of the handguard a little bit. Wait a minute. No, I think I cut it at 24. I misspoke. I think I cut it at 24.
I mean, either way, that's not a short barrel when you're
it's not a short barrel.
But on this system, it is.
Right. That's the beauty of it. And then one thing I didn't mention earlier when we were talking about the SRS, we also have the SRS Covert, which is the short version of the SRS, completely identical in every way, except it has a shorter handguard, and you can run shorter barrels in it. So we have 16-inch 308 barrels that you can run in that thing, and it's the same size as an MP5 with the stock collapsed. But you've got a 16-inch 308 that is easily, it shoots same thing, half MOA all day long. I mean, I think I've shot mine out to like 1,200 yards on a MOA and a half target at 1,200 yards with a 16-inch 308. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's a gun you can hide in your backpack and, oh, whoops, I need to make a 1,000-yard shot. Here we go, bang. You know, I mean, it's an impressive configuration as well. I love that. That actually, when I first bought my SRS, it was a 16-inch 308, and I shot the shit out of a thing like that just the way it was. I loved it, but then I quickly migrated to more and more and more. You know, now I've got GTs, and I've got a 450 Bushmaster barrel for it.
Oh, jeez.
What do you use that for?
Pigs in the head.
So get this: 450 Bushmaster. 405 grain bullets doing 1,000 feet per second. It is so stupid quiet that when it hits a deer at 100 yards, the bullet hitting the deer is way louder than the gun going off. It's pretty impressive.
I believe it.
And it wafts the shit out of a deer.
That would be a good one for depredation, for smashing does in the head, you know, culling deer out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That would just put the. So that's kind of what I mentioned on kind of how you said it. on the video that we're going to do with the 3 configurations that we have for our setup. We're close, mid, and long, or close to mid to LR, and then LR to ELR. And it doesn't just cover the bases for distances on steel. So we have the 250 configuration, which was what we wanted to use it for. Get the feel, use it for killing coyotes, test it out, and a 400-yard shot with this it's easy. It's just, it's literally, it's nothing. A 400-yard shot is a poke, but when you have the right stuff, it's not hard to do. And so
it's not hard at all.
We look at this with a 250 from 0 to 400, or from 50 to 400. And then for pretty much coyotes, I mean, granted, with what you could work your loads up to, be a potential deer or antelope rifle. But if we're going to be doing that, we just swap it out to the 260, which
exactly.
Then we'll go from 400 to 1300, easy with the 260. And then the 338's our elk killer. That's the one where it doesn't just penetrate, but it breaks bone and penetrates it carries a hell of a lot of energy a long ways. So that's the way that I think that. I mean, the 338 doesn't even come out until you're going to be shooting over half a mile.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
so I shot.
Yeah, go.
I actually 260 is one of my favorite barrels too. I've got a 260 barrel that I shot for years, and for a while, the longest kill I'd ever made was with that 260 barrel. I had a little dink deer walk out at 1,006 yards, and I was like, I'm going to kill that deer, and boom, I shot it. Hammered it right through the lungs. It dropped to the ground and never moved.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome. I was like, holy cow, dude. I love this. I mean, it just filled me with even more,
more
passion for this setup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I knew I liked you earlier when you mentioned 260 and not a 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I have a 6.5 too,
but you just don't use it.
I was on the 260 train way before the Creedmoor.
Yeah, that's so is
I shoot Creedmoor mainly out of necessity nowadays because it's just too easy to shoot 6.5 Creedmoor, over other things because it's just easy to get hands on with. It's easy to find ammo for. It's easy to load for. It's easy to get brass for. I mean, not that 260 is hard, but
yeah. Hey, you should check your camera real quick. It's at we're right at a half an hour since the last time you down.
Yeah.
You might want to just check it just to reset or
it's still going, but I'm going to stop it and restart it again.
Yep, do it. And then we'll do a little bit more BSing and close her down.
Okay. All right, I'm rolling again.
Yeah, if there's anything else that I hope to do a good job for you guys on the video. It's like I said, it's going to be a lot of information at the beginning. Just I don't like watching myself or listening to myself talk. But when you have a product like this and your job is to itemize it, it's to break it down and explain to guys why you're using it, how you use it, and then we're going to show you the whole thing. But there's probably a good 15 minutes of going over all of the features of the rifle like we did on this podcast, but it's going to be visual. And then, I'll do some B-roll, some video overlay of all the things to make it break up the monotony a little bit. And then we shoot, man. We go into the luckily I record, well, not luckily, we were going to do it, the 3-shot group at 110 yards, 100 meters. And they're all, like I said, the tightest group I've shot. And we've got all that's on there. That's ready to rock. And then I might reshoot the 1,300 yard stuff just because it wasn't real steady through my phone in the spotter. So we might just get a little bit steadier setup for that, just so you can get a better visual of impacts. And then we've got the shot at, a steady good shot at 2,200 on a 2/3 size IPSEC target. That's what it is. It's a 2/3 human size IPSEC target. You can't see that shit when you through the spotter.
Yeah.
But I filmed it all in 4K, so it looks. It looks good. You can see we used a little the Mub smoker. It's like a little. I don't know if you've seen those, and it helped. You could see it on when you actually review the footage. You can see 100% the impact.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we should have some pretty cool stuff, man. And then, this fall we'll get some coyote kills with it and show it in a couple videos during.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to come up and visit you guys. We'll go shoot some coyotes.
Yeah, we were gonna do this in person too. That.
Yeah.
But it's not a big deal if you're filming it from that end and recording. We'll get you put on. Get it.
Yeah, it'll be good.
But yeah,
maybe I'll come up this fall and I'll bring an MDR and we can go coyote hunt with an MDR.
Yeah,
and that way you guys can play with that, see how you like it.
Heck yeah, and it might accidentally get lost here somewhere.
Yeah,
boating accident.
Boating accident.
Boating accident.
Hey,
yeah,
I already had one of those this year. It's not fucking fun.
Yeah.
That's a kayaking accident, not a boating. Did you see that? Did you see that? What happened on that?
Yeah,
I didn't see that one.
Oh, you never?
John,
we went kayaking down just the BS, and we went kayaking down our river, and it was still full at the time.
No,
this was at 3 in the morning.
At night, yeah, with nods.
Night vision.
With I was running some DTN VSs, and they're clear, dude, cool as shit, because you're floating down, full moon, and you can see fireflies just lighting up in the night vision, and then. These guys were running a PVS 14 over one eye and then a Rico Micro over the other eye. And we were floating down. Well, there's water gaps, right? And the water gaps are where the fence, the petition fence lines go across the river.
Shit.
And they're barbed wire fences. And I can see them good. I mean, I'm the first one that goes underneath.
It wasn't the point.
Yeah, no shit.
It's the tipsiness.
You can't stop.
Yeah, you're going with the current. And I went underneath lucky, pinked it. Well, you should have watched the Instagram story. John bailed. Well, Keith did too.
Keith goes.
Keith didn't do shit. There's no proof that I did anything.
Keith goes underneath the fence and fucking goes under the water, and
Prove
I start laughing.
Prove
and
it.
I'm paddling upriver, laughing my ass off for 15 minutes, and then Keith goes through and records my ass, and I eat shit. So there's evidence of it happening to me.
Got a brand new Colt Commando at the bottom of the river, but it's
Oh,
he got it. He got it. He got it.
John buried that fucker.
and then that right off the bat, I get a message from iRay, and they're like, "Hey, it looks like that helmet went under the water. You better be careful with our stuff." And I'm like, they were laughing. I'm like, dude, it never went under.
It did though.
It's all IPX68 rated, anyways.
Anyway, that's the story of the potential
Boat
accident that could happen if you bring one of those.
MDS.
Okay.
Yeah.
MDRs.
Or if you bring an HTI too, that would probably get lost in a boating accident as well.
Yeah, well, I
better leave
if
those
I come
ones
up there, I might as well bring them all.
Where do you get your
boat.
rounds for those HTIs? Do you buy prefabbed rounds, or do you load some up there?
We actually have our own ammunition company called Desert Tech Munitions. So we make our own ammo as well. So we make 408, 375, and 50, as well as 308, 65 Creedmoor, and 338 Papua.
What are you using for projectiles in your big bores? Are they monolithics?
Yeah, the 375 is a cutting edge bullet, and the 408 is a Lehigh.
Okay,
they're both monolithics.
I got you. And what's it? You probably don't know off the top of your head a price of a. Are they coming 20 rounds in a box?
The big ones come in 10-round boxes, and they are outrageous right now. They're like, I want to say it used to be $100 a box. Now it's like 150 or 180.
Oh wow,
$15 a shot.
Yeah,
yep.
You better get reloading on that shit. Just reload.
Yeah, it's expensive as shit to buy that stuff.
It's no different than anything else, though.
Yeah,
everything's getting crazy.
Yep. No, that'd be cool. Just to, I might get a few. I've always wanted to get a big bore, not bigger than the 338 Norma, and just crush that shit. Just do something a long ways away, further. 2,000. It's hard to understand the concept of that distance until you're sitting there watching. But I mean, gosh, guys shooting 3 miles and shit. That's you got to have the right equipment. You got to have the right equipment though. You got to have the cant. You got to have the optic. A lot of those guys have a lot of shit. They're running those TACCOM.
They're using that TACCOM reflector thing.
Yep, those prisms that you sap. Those. Yep. I was looking into those.
You know what's funny? I actually thought of that like years ago. I'm sure it was well after that. No, I'm serious. Well after. I didn't even know they existed. I didn't even know they existed. I thought about it. I was like, what if you just made like a thing that optically offset your scope or whatever? And then like years later, I saw theirs. I was like, oh shit, they already did it.
Yep.
Could have been a million.
It's a brilliant idea, though.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Brilliant idea.
I was running. Quick story. I'm running a Trimble Nomad. You're familiar with all that shit. And then I'm running the Field Firing Solutions Delta. I was running Delta 4 and now I'm on Delta 5. But anyway, Blaine Fields with Lex Talis Corp was the guy that I would be in contact for. He would give me free updates, and I'm trying to get a hold of him again because I know they've got a newer version. Anyway, we were talking. It was probably 10 years ago on Sniper Side, and it was about the time that Canadian sniper killed that dude at, how far was that? 2 miles or something?
2 miles. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Rob Furlong.
Yeah. It was however long ago that was. We were talking about that shit, and I'm like, he's like, I want to say that he said he was using his ballistics program. Maybe, I don't remember. Anyway, I'm like, how in the hell? There's no way. Though there's no way those guys have a canted rail and an optic that can peg that shit out that far. And he's like, no, you know what they're doing? They're using a prism. And this was before, TAC HQ or TACCOM or whatever. I follow him on Instagram. Any of that shit came out, and I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, you put it at the end of your scope, and it basically doubles the adjustable usage of your reticle inside. And I'm like, oh, I go, that makes sense then. That's how they're doing. He's like, yeah, that's what they're doing.
It's just an optical, 50 MOA offset or something.
Yep. Cool as shit.
Pretty cool idea.
Yeah, awesome. Functional,
cool.
man. Functional. And then they got those little flip ups that you can put on in front of a LPVO and flick it up, and it turns your 100 yard 0 to 400 right now instead of having to hold.
That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, little things like that. I mean, it's just it's interesting, cool shit. Those guys might be cool to get on for a podcast too.
It would be.
But anyway,
interesting just to listen.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I'd understand any of it.
It would be cool. They would make you understand it. A lot of guys probably don't have a clue, didn't understand the whole concept of these rifles till you break shit down and explain to them.
Right. Once you explain it a little bit better, it helps.
Yeah.
It helps figure out a lot of the details that you didn't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, man. No, this is cool. I mean, I appreciate working with you. Like I said, man, I didn't know. That's even more cool to me that your username's Cold Bore Miracle. I like I said, I've been looking at your shit for a long time, and I didn't know till just the first 5 minutes of the podcast. And I liked your pictures all the time, man. You got the watermark, the cool watermark, and everything. It's cool.
Yeah.
You do some cool shit. Awesome. And
you know that my logo that you see that on that watermark.
Yeah,
that's actually a Sierra 183 Match King.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Is that what you? Yeah, so is that what you use on Audi? Is that what you do for your 308s?
No. So that's a 7mm. I've got a 7 SAUM barrel in my SRS.
I got you.
And I shoot that 183 Match King, and that thing has been so unbelievably. I mean, it shoots so flat, it's unreal. I mean, it shoots those 183 Match Kings at 30-50 out of the muzzle, and those things hold on to the energy and velocity so well. Those things are extremely well designed. But man, I hammered a cow elk at 970 yards with that thing, and just punched right through. She stumbled down the hill a little ways and tipped over. But man, I love that 183 Match King out of the 7mm. It's mean. I
was wondering, I noticed that design of your watermark, but I wasn't, when you were talking about your using that covert with your 308, were you running 175 SMKs when you were doing? Yeah.
That's all I ever shoot, that 308.
Same thing, just the standard. That's exactly. Nope, I'm not familiar with the 7mm Projo. I don't do a whole lot of 7, but that sounds like if you're running at 3,000, that's a freaking hammer, dude.
Oh, it's mean. It's absolutely mean. I love it. It's a killer machine. I've shot a lot of stuff with that 7 SAUM, but I'm putting together a 7 PRC for my little brother right now. So we're going to try some other stuff as well and see how that does. Because I've got a bunch of 197 Match Kings left over too. In your
PRC, are you going to use Retumbo or H1000 or what? I'm assuming you reload for all your stuff, probably.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do 570, I think.
Yep.
Vihtavuori.
Yep, that's what I use for my 338 and 570.
The only thing you can get right now, anyways, since Retumbo and H1000 are gone. So.
Yeah, I got
how much else you can use.
Vihtavuori was short too, man. I mean, I got 3 years ago. Yeah, I got 14 pounds of it, and it was on order for probably 2 years. But this was like 4 years ago, and then it just came up, and they called me and asked if I still want it. I'm like, yeah, I do.
Send it all.
Yeah. That shit burns black. I mean, it burns black, but it's a hell of a powder. It's a freaking good powder for those. I bet I've
actually never used it until this project. So I'm kind of excited to see how it does.
Yeah, dude. That's all I've ever used out of my 338 Norma mags is that, just Vihtavuori N570. I did a whole bunch of research on Sniper's Hide, tried some RLs, and it just, Vihtavuori was just it. It's the unicorn dust, man. That's what it. It's like varmint, you know. It's like it just shit works.
Yep.
But
exactly.
No, cool, dude.
I've shot.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no, go.
No, I was just gonna say the Reloader 26 is good stuff too.
That's what I tried.
Joe swears by that stuff.
Yeah, I shot it. I've got a little Wildcat that I put together a couple years ago, a 257 Blackjack, that uses the new Blackjack 131 Ace bullet. But they're basically they're not making bullets anymore because they were having Sierra make them. But you can still shoot the Burger. Burger makes a good 133 and a 135 bullet for it as well. But
what is it? It's a 250. What is it? What caliber is it?
It's a 257 Blackjack. So it's 25 caliber. It is you take a 6.5 SAUM case, you shorten it, neck it down. It fits. It runs out of just regular AI magazines, but this little thing shoots my 131s shoot at 3,200 feet per second. And it has a 340 BC on it, so it stays supersonic to about 2,000 yards.
Oh, wow.
Which is unbelievable out of a short action. And I have been absolutely amazed with how that thing shoots. It runs, I want to say it's 4.7 mils at 1,000 yards.
Holy shit.
I mean, that's flat as shit.
Oh, my gosh.
Jesus. So
go.
It's got like 1,200 pounds of energy at 1,000 yards still too, which is pretty impressive.
So when you gas that up, are you just necking down the SAUM and that's it?
Yeah.
Or is there
no. You can do it. There's 25 SAUM, which is just a neck down 6.5, but the Blackjack is actually shorter. So you shorten the case a little bit and then neck it down. It's a mess. It's one of those Wildcats that you don't recommend.
Yep.
Because it's so much work.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was doing it again, I might just do a 25 SAUM instead. But it is unbelievable. It's a sweet little cartridge, and I've been trying to kill an elk with it for 2 years now, but I haven't gotten a shot yet. So I've been doing other things. But man, it's a sweet little cartridge. But that Reloader 26 was the ticket. I tried I don't know how many different powders, and I could not get that thing to get up to speed without bad pressure spikes until I tried that Reloader 26. So that 26 is another unicorn dust.
That's what Joe says about, like, with his 7mm, he uses that 26 and he gets a lot more velocity than with most other.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was going with when I was loading for my Blackjack, I was literally loading I was only getting like 30, 50 or almost 3,100. And about to pop primers. Yeah, about to blow out primers. And then I switched to Reloader 26, and I was like 3,270 on like the second powder charge I threw, and no bad pressure signs. Just flat primers. I was like, fuck, I'll just leave it right there. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean,
were you having accuracy issues at all, but till you got up to that point, or was it? Were you?
No. It was shooting okay accuracy wise. But it was just so much pressure, and the whole idea was I wanted like 3,200 at minimum.
Yep.
So I was like, if I'm going to shoot 30-50, I might as well shoot something else.
Yeah.
You know.
Does it? Yeah.
Because I have a 25 Creedmoor too that I built, that I shoot the same bullets out of, and that thing is also an amazing little cartridge. The farthest kill I ever made was with that 25 Creedmoor, if you can believe it.
On a deer or what?
On a deer, yeah. So me and my dad were up deer hunting, and my dad hit a deer at 900, and he hit it, and it looked like a good hit because it went through his brisket, but I think it wasn't deep enough into the chest to do enough significant damage. And this deer was walking away, hobbling off after the rest of the deer, and I was trying to have my dad put this thing down because I didn't want to, nobody likes to clean up somebody else's mess, right? You know, you want to let him do the job.
Yep.
And so my dad's getting pretty old, so his eyes aren't what they used to be. And so he was having a heck of a time just making out the deer. And he told me, he said, you know, I finally got to a spot where he could see the deer. And I said, you got him? He's like, I can see him, but I can't make out antlers. So he's like, I'm nervous that I'm looking at the wrong deer right here. And there was a bunch of does. So I said, well, do you want me to take a poke at it? He's like, if you want to, go for it. And I closed my bolt, and I'd already doped my rifle for it. I closed the bolt, put it on that. He was standing pointing straight at us. He was head on at this point. And I squoze that trigger and watched that bullet fly up there. And it punched him right between right in the front of his chest, went all the way through and popped out behind his opposite rib cage at the back. And he jumped, ran forward about 10 feet and tipped over. And I got off my gun and looked at my dad, and he looked at me, and I was like, I think I got him. He's like, I think you did. And I was like, holy shit, dude. And I hit it with the rangefinder again just to make sure. It was like 1,120 yards.
Wow.
And I fucking cold board that thing. I was like, holy shit. That was luck.
That's a
really, that is. Yeah,
well,
you luck. I mean, the only
much.
luck that you had involved in that was maybe the wind didn't gust. That's about it, you know?
Yeah,
you gotta
probably.
You got to know how to do that shit, period, when you're doing that.
Yeah.
That's cool, dude.
Exactly.
Is that where your cold bore name came from?
You know, it's a funny story. That's not that story, but another story similar to it. But yeah, me and my best friend took one of his friends shooting one time. And
how long ago was this?
And
20,
oh shit,
30,
this was
20
yeah, this was 20 years ago at least. And we took him shooting, and he'd never been long range shooting before, and we were hitting the shit at like 800 yards. And my buddy said, "Whoa, dude, you hit that thing cold bore." And I was like, "Yeah, that was awesome." And his buddy says, "Dude, that was a cold bore miracle." And I literally, like, my jaw dropped, and I looked at him and was like,
okay.
"Oh fuck, I'm stealing that."
Yeah, that's what I'm using. That's cool, dude.
And that's where it came from.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyhow,
that's awesome, dude. Well, I mean, we went through a lot of good shit. That was a good one. There's a lot of information.
Yeah, I think we got everything.
Cool product line. I'll just get your video overlay. And
I think if anything, I think the part that we probably missed was when I was talking about the MDR. So that's not, I don't know that that's a huge deal or not, but
yeah, I'll be able to overlay. Is all your audio coming from your camera that you're recording to?
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I can put this is coming through loud. I've got yours. Okay. You're lifted up. You're good. If there's 10 minutes of that, it won't, to be honest, it's going to be on YouTube for, they'll maybe get 5,000 listens on there. And then the Anchor platform, this is plenty good audio for me just to post it on my Anchor just for audio, just so guys can listen to it. You're coming through loud and clear on here with your phone. So we will use it for that, but your video and the other audio, we'll use that for the YouTube, and then I can render that out and send it to you too. If you guys want to use it for whatever you want to do. If you want me to rip some edits or do something different on it, we can.
Awesome.
So yeah, dude.
Well, do you want to do like an outro or something? Is that how you usually do it?
Usually what I do is if there's anything else that you want to talk about, let me know. And if not, then we just hang up and I do a little bit of saying, that's whatever. That's it. It's just an ad lib deal and pretty easy, simple going thing. And hopefully we can grow the podcast by having guys like you, like I say, SMEs, subject matter experts that know more about certain shit than I do. That's what we want to do. No, we don't want to pretend like we know all this shit. We want to have guys that know the shit. So that's our goal.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Right on. Well,
yeah, dude, if there's,
very good then.
Yeah. If you think that you hit everything, good. And we'll touch base again before I put the video up. This is, like I said, a precursor to it to give guys a little bit of incentive to watch and a little bit of information to let them know that there's going to be a video on YouTube shooting the SRS M2 and going over details and the aspects, the applications, what you can do with them, all of the shit, just what we talked about.
Right.
show it in video.
Okay. Right on.
And anything
Well, I
else,
guess
dude?
in the meantime,
Yeah.
well, if anybody else, if they have any other questions, they can always go to
Yeah.
any of Desert Tech social media.
Yep. Do that one more time. Hit all your plugs in for everything, whether
Okay.
you all your shit, your website, your personal, the businesses stuff, whatever you want, hit it up.
Right on. So yeah, you guys can follow me at Cold Bore Miracle everywhere, or you can go to my website. You can see me there. Desert Tech is deserttech.com. Real easy. It's Desert Tech on all the social media platforms. Some of it's Desert_Tech, but like Instagram, Facebook. We're on TikTok and Truth, all these other places as well. Twitter. So you can find out more information about Desert Tech there, or you can go straight to our website. We'll answer questions. We're pretty interactive with most of our social media, so we like to answer questions and interact with customers. So feel free to comment on any of our stuff. We're always happy to strike up conversation. But yeah, any questions on the products, you can find information on our website or on our social media. You can always hit me up whenever you want. You can find me anywhere on the internet, I guess. So
Cool. Well, one last question.
What's that?
On your rifles, like the one I'm looking at right here, the SRS M2, that's two-tone, so it's got like a flat dark earth poly chassis part,
Yes.
and then the other portion that's machined aluminum or machined alloy is
Yes.
is black. When you guys do
Yes.
that from the factory, and say a guy wanted a monolithic color, a straight up all tan, would
Yes.
do you anodize that, or is it Cerakoted then?
It's anodized and Cerakoted. So the one that I've got in front of me right here is all FDE. So you can actually get the SRS comes in either all FDE, two-tone black tan, or all black.
Okay.
We even did a couple runs of green, and who knows, we might do it again in the future sometime. But there are a handful of green M2s floating around out there.
OD green.
OD green, yep.
So what you're saying is, if this one came from the factory all tan, the tan, it would be anodized black and then Cerakoted over tan?
No, it would be anodized tan and then Cerakoted tan on top of it.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
So all of them get anodized and then Cerakoted whatever color they're going to be.
All right, cool. I like the two-tone. I mean,
I do too. I like the two-tone.
It's just,
I swapped out the skins on mine. So mine's black with green skins. Yours is black with tan skins, but they're still basically the same thing.
Yep, cool. Yeah, I like it. Well, cool, man. I appreciate it. It's awesome working with you guys. Thanks a lot. We appreciate the opportunity. And then it's always a pleasure. It's humbling for us to be able to work with all sorts of different people like this, and then get you on and talk and give your guys experiences.
I mean, one thing about us here at Desert Tech is we're gun people. I mean, my boss is the CEO of the company. I mean, he might not be at work one day and then show up at 3:00 in the afternoon covered in dirt with his, hiking boots on, and throws his dusty gun on the floor of his office because he's been out shooting all day. Right. I mean, that's the kind of people we are. We like shooting. We like hunting. We like everything involved with the firearms world. So we don't take it lightly, I guess you could say.
Nope. That's cool. That's who we want to be talking to, for sure. So
well, and that's why I thought you guys would be a perfect match, right? Because that's what you guys do too.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. We'll hammer the hell out of it. We're gonna stack up some bodies, that's for sure. It'll be interesting it's gonna be really hard for me not to put a thermal on this for a lot of the stuff in the wintertime, to tell you the truth. I mean, we'll get a bunch of stuff, get a bunch of content for you one way or the other, and we'll just keep in touch on stuff for sure. And
right on.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, likewise. And then we'll have to just keep in touch, meet up sometime, and go from there. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. And once again, those of you guys that were listening, the guest was Jeff Wood, aka Cold Bore Miracle, on all of the social media platforms that he's on. Instagram. That's what you go by on Sniper's Hide. It's coldboremiracle.com.
Yep.
For your website. That's easy enough to remember. Cool tagline, dude. That's an easy one. But anyway, awesome, dude. We appreciate it. And with that said, if there's nothing else, we'll let you roll. We've been at it for an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.
Yeah, we'll have to touch base, get meet each other sometime for sure. If not sooner at SHOT Show or something. I think we're gonna go
for sure. Year. Right on.
Cool, man. Well, you
right,
you take care, and we'll be in touch.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you guys later.
Yep. Later, brother.
See you, John and Keith. We'll see you guys later.
Talking to you, Jeff.
Later.
Bye.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good. Yeah, dude. Well, maybe as soon as I get done with this outro, I'll keep Instagram live for a little bit since we have like 30 people on there right now.
Except you know what we should do is really go for a freaking
maybe
cruise.
We'll do that. We might just go for a little bank cruise. Anyway, once again, guys, this has been an O'Neill Ops podcast with Jeff Wood at Desert Tech. We'll be doing a YouTube video on the SRS M2 that should be uploaded hopefully next week. And we've got a bunch of videos in the works. So hope you guys enjoy it. And we are out.
Dude, check out these Glock base plates I fucking want.
Dude, don't get too...
Oh, I thought you couldn't hear it. I thought you